in the previous video lecture, we have discussed about a block diagram of a super heterodyne radio receiver. Then we have discussed what is the sensitivity and the selectivity of the radio receiver. Today in this video lecture, we will discuss about a practical circuit of a radio receiver. The first section of the radio receiver is a RF section. Basically, this RF section will improve the sensitivity and the selectivity of the radio. In some of the radio, the RF section will be there or will not be there. If we have a commercial radio or you can say domestic radio, RF section will not be present. But the receiver which are used for the communication purpose or for the research and development purpose, the RF section will be always there. So let us see what is the circuit of a RF section. Here you can see this circuit diagram. This RF amplifier, RF section. In the RF section, we have a RF amplifier, and that is the input part, or it is the first block of your a radio receiver. Here we have this circuit of a RF amplifier, and basically you can see it is nothing but it is a kind of a tune amplifier. So remember, RF amplifier is nothing but it is a tune amplifier. And this section basically select your frequency and reject the unwanted frequency. Here if you look at this, then we have used a NPN transistor. The resistance R1, R2, this resistance R1, R2, RE and the CE, they are used for a proper biasing of a transistor. At the input part, we have one of the tuning section, and in the output also another tuning section is there. So if we have the RF amplifier in the receiver, then there will be a two tuning section. Now if you look at this, then at the input, the receiving antenna is there. Receiving antenna is the thing, but it is simply a conducting wire, and it receives the number of the signal from the different transmitter. So here the one of the signal is received by this different transmitter signal are propagating in the air, and it is received by this antenna. So here in the antenna there will be a induced current. This induced current, remember, whatever the current is induced or whatever the voltage is induced, it is very small. It will be in order of a few microvolt. Now whatever the voltage is induced, that is due to all these different frequency. One of the frequency is F1, F2, F3, number of the signals are there. But out of all this different frequency, if you are interested in a particular station, you want to receive the information from a particular station, then we have to select that frequency, and the other frequency has to be rejected. And for that, here we have a tuning section at the input of the RF amplifier. Now you can see whatever the signal is induced, it is passing through this antenna. It is passing through this coil, that is known as the antenna coil. And here we have a kind of a small transformer is there, and in the secondary one more coil is there where the signal is going to be induced. Here if you look at this part, of the circuit, then in this case we have this kind of a rod. This kind of the rod will be there. On this rod, this antenna is going to be wounded, that is, you can say it is your primary of the transformer. Remember, here your antenna will be there, and this secondary is wounded in this way, and in the secondary the variable capacitor will be there. Here, this is your tuning section of the radio. Now, whatever the rod is here, that rod is known as a ferrite rod. It is a ferrite rod. It's a black colored rod is there. So, due to this, the electromagnetic wave is going to be concentrated. So, this is the primary of the transformer, and this is a secondary of the transformer. Here you can say this is the secondary of the transformer. Where both the primary and the secondary, they are mounted on the same ferrite rod. So, whenever the current will pass in the primary, then due to a mutual inductance, remember, due to this mutual inductance between this primary and the secondary, here, the mutual inductance will be there. Then, due to this mutual inductance, the current will be induced in this secondary. So, ultimately, here, the advantage is there is a isolation. There is an isolation between the primary and the secondary. So, if something is going to be happen with the antenna, then it will not damage your radio. Okay? So, this kind of the connection is at the input of your radio receiver, and with the parallel with this a secondary coil, the capacitor is connected, which is a variable capacitor. So, this is your primary of the coil, this one is the secondary of the coil, and here we have a variable capacitor. It forms a kind of a parallel resonance circuit, which is known as a tuning section. So, already we know what is the characteristics of the resonance. Then, here, this resonance circuit will produce a maximum voltage for that particular frequency f, and for the rest of the frequency here, for the rest of the frequency you can say f1, f2, the amplitudes are very small, so you can say this frequency are rejected by the tuning section. Only the frequency f, only this frequency f is accepted by the tuning section, and this frequency f we can write as 1 upon 2 pi root LC. So, as you want to change the tuning frequency, then you have to change the capacitor. So, here this capacitor is a variable capacitor. Parallel with this variable capacitor, one more capacitor is there. It is a very small value of the capacitor, which is known as a trimmer capacitor. And this trimmer capacitor is used for the alignment of the radio. Suppose your pointer here, if you see the radio, and when you are tuning a radio for 1000 kilohertz, means the pointer on the dial is indicating the 1000 kilohertz. Correct? But when you change this position slightly near to this, you are getting a maximum sound. Means the pointer is not indicating the proper position. So, for this kind of the alignment, here you can use this trimmer capacitor. So, what you have to do? You have to set your pointer on 1000 kilohertz and change the position of the trimmer capacitor so that you will get a maximum sound in the radio. So, the minor correction of your tuning frequency is possible with the help of a Cleaver capacitor. Okay. Then the resistance R1 R2 already mentioned, it is used for a proper biasing of the transistor. Now this amplifier is a tune amplifier. So the load is not a resistive. But instead of that, again a tank circuit is connected at the collector. So this tank circuit, remember, this tank circuit is your a load. Here, whatever the tank circuit is there, it is working as a load for your RF amplifier. And again, here we have a tuning section. In a tuning amplifier, always the tuning section will be in the output. So this tuning section, you can see it is here. You can see this tuning section is there. Again, on a collector, the transformer is connected here. This transformer is there. In the primary of the transformer, the variable capacitor is connected as well as the trimmer is also connected. Again, it is used for the tuning. Means if my input frequency, remember, if this input frequency or the frequency tuned by this section is a Fs, signal frequency Fs is there, then in the output also this tuning must be for the frequency Fs. Same frequency has to be tuned in the output, and it is possible again with the help of this tuning capacitor. So basically, if you have the RF amplifier, then this capacitor and this capacitor, remember, both the capacitors are connected together. So when you change the input capacitor, this one Cs, you can say, when you change the Cs, then this will also change simultaneously, and it is known as a gain capacitor. Gain capacitor means the 2 or 3 capacitors are connected together. So any one of the capacitor will change, then simultaneously another capacitor will also change. So due to this, whatever the frequency we tune at the input, the same frequency will be also tuned in the output of this amplifier circuit. Otherwise, what will happen? The number of the harmonics are also going to be generated. Remember, in an amplifier, it will generate the frequency Fs, 2Fs, 3Fs will be there. But out of all this, we have to select the frequency Fs, and that is possible with the help of this tank circuit. Here, whatever the transistor is there, it will get the supply. It will get the supply from this VCC to this inductor, and then the collector will be there, and here there will be a flow of the current. So there will be a center tap transformer is there, which will provide a collector supply to the transistor. This resistance RB and CB, which is used for the decoupling network. Decoupling network means it will isolate your power supply from the circuit. Otherwise, what will happen? Whatever the frequency is going to be amplified, this frequency will be entered into your power supply, and that will correct the power supply. So to prevent this power supply, again always we have to use a decoupling network. Then here we use the transformer. So basically the transformer is used for the impedance matching purpose. Remember, whatever the transformer is used, it is used for a impedance matching purpose. impedance matching? What kind of the impedance matching will be there? Because here the output impedance, remember, output impedance of the RF amplifier, and this output of the RF amplifier is given to a mixer stage. Here we have this RF amplifier, and my next stage is a mixer stage. That output impedance of this and the input impedance of the mixer stage, they are not identical. If the impedance are not identical, then there will be a loss of the signal. And remember, here we are dealing with a very small amplitude of the signal. So if this signal will be lost, then there is no use of the RF amplifier. So to match this impedance, we are connecting a transformer between the mixer stage and the RF amplifier. So without any loss of the signal, without any kind of the distortion, your signal will be, amplified signal will be transferred from a RF amplifier to the mixer stage. So that is the purpose of using a transformer in the output of the RF amplifier, and this signal is given to the mixer stage. So if you look at this waveform, at the input where our waveform is like a amplitude modulated wave, and this is the AM wave with a very small signal amplitude. This signal will be either it will be in order of a few microvolt or millivolt, but in the secondary we have this a large amplitude of this signal. Large amplitude of the signal will be present. Here, whatever the amplitude is there, it depends on what is the quality factor of your input section, tuning section, and the output section also. Remember, okay? So in this way, if we use a RF amplifier in the radio, then it will increase the gain and it will increase the sensitivity as well as the selectivity of the radio. Now let us see what are the few advantages of using a RF section. Remember, I already mentioned that RF section is not a mandatory. In a commercial or in a domestic radio, this RF section is not there, because in that case we are receiving a local station, and local station, that electromagnetic waves are already powerful. You don't require to amplify this, directly you can apply to the mixer stage. But if you are doing some research with the radio waves or with the ionosphere or the propagation of the wave, then you require the RF, because the received signal is going to be very big, and so in a communication receiver or the VHF receiver, always the RF section will be there. Okay, now let us see what are the some advantage of this RF amplifier. Okay, I already mentioned a few advantages of using the RF section. So first of all, the greater gain means the better sensitivity. Here it is going to amplify your signal a 10, 20 or 50 times. It is providing some gain, so the sensitivity of the radio receiver is increased. So if your input signal is very weak, then also you are able to receive the signal. Second one, improve the image frequency rejection. Remember, we have discussed the image frequency. And image frequency is given by a fs plus 2fi. That image frequency fsi is given by fs plus 2fi. Means here, if my fs is a 1000 kilohertz, then the image frequency is 1910 kilohertz. So when you are tuning this section, fs is equal to a 1000 kilohertz, then this is also tuned for a 1000 kilohertz. Now, if the image frequency that is a FSI 1910 kilohertz will try to enter, then whatever the tuning section is there, this tuning section will reject the image frequency. Suppose some portion of the FSI is entered, then again we have a tuning section in the output and it is tuned for the 1000 kilohertz. So image frequency is going to be rejected. So if you use a RF amplifier, then the image frequency rejection will be a good one and image frequency will not be entered in your radio. Then third one is the input signal to noise ratio. For any kind of the amplifier, the signal to noise ratio is very important. And for a good quality of the amplifier, SN ratio must be very high. So naturally, here the signal is going to be amplified. Then the signal to noise ratio will be also improved. But remember, if this gain of the RF amplifier is very high, then the noise will be also amplified. So we should not keep this gain very high as well as we should not keep this gain very low. The gain of this RF amplifier must be a moderate. If it is moderate, then only the signal to noise ratio will be improved. Then the improved rejection of unwanted signal. That is sensitivity. This is not a sensitivity, but it is a selectivity. Remember. Okay? So here I already mentioned that if you are tuning a 1000 kilohertz means that if my another frequency FS1 is 1010 kilohertz or my another frequency is a 990 kilohertz, means these are the adjacent frequency of the transmitter of your radio receiver, and this has to be rejected. Then you can say the selectivity will be better, and this depends on what? It depends on your tuning section. If you are keeping a quality factor of this tuning section very large, then the adjacent station will be automatically rejected, or you can say unwanted signal will be rejected. Only you can listen whatever the station you have tuned. Then prevent the re-radiation of a local oscillator frequency through the antenna. Now remember, then what is the local oscillator frequency? Here when we are talking about let us say the signal frequency is 1000 kilohertz, then the local oscillator frequency will be 1000 plus 455 kilohertz, correct? And this is 1455 kilohertz, because this frequency and this frequency both are given to the mixer state and it will produce the IF. So in some of the case, what will happen? This local oscillator frequency is very strong. That amplitude of the local oscillator frequency is strong. Then what will happen? This frequency will try to enter into this radio through this antenna. Because the antenna is nothing, it is simply a conducting wire. It will also produce the current according to the radiation. So if the oscillator frequency is strong, so the radiation will be also there. And this radiation is picked up by this antenna. So here, then if it will be picked up by this, then there, if this tuning section is not proper, remember, if the tuning section is not proper, then the local oscillator frequency will be also entered. But if you have this RF section, then here it will be blocked at the input also, and the oscillator frequency will be blocked in the output also. So in this way, if there will be a kind of any other kind of the radiation will be present, strong radiation will be there, then it will be prevented by a RF amplifier of the receiver. Correct? So we have this kind of the advantage of using the RF amplifier in the receiver. In the next lecture, we will discuss about a mixer stage of the radio receiver.